Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. We have another exciting week ahead where Barcelona is hoping to announce at least the arrival of one new player and work on the potential signing of two more. Today we are going to discuss Barcelona new transfer targets, including the alternative name they are considering for the midfield if Wijnaldum finally goes to PSG, and the latest update on the Depay signing. So let's start. Barcelona is in a process of rebuilding after several seasons where the team has progressively lost quality and hunger. One of the areas where this become more obvious is the defense. Not all the news in this regard have been bad, obviously. For instance, last season we saw how Araujo and Mingueza became starting players. Together with Eric Garcia, they should be the base of Barcelona defense for the coming years. Nevertheless, Barca has several defenders that either because of age, injuries or simply quality, they don't have the level to play for Barcelona in important games. For instance, Umtiti is going to leave Barcelona this summer, either transferred or simply let go. Junior is going to be transferred to a Premier League team, while there are increasing rumours that Piqué might leave soon, and Lenglet's future depends on whether a good offer arrives. Hence, Barca's sports direction is working on the signing of at least two defenders more, one playing in the left back. As I mentioned in a previous video, Gaia from Valencia is on top of the list, and one on the centre back. The centre back position is the most interesting one since Barcelona is considering a wide range of players. Because the club financial health is weak, Mateu Alemany and his team were initially considering low budget players, such as Alessio Romagnoli, who will become a free agent after his contract with AC Milan expires this June, and Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. In recent days, Barcelona has opened a new option that would include a top defender, Aymeric Laporte from Manchester City. Barcelona tried to acquire the centre-back in multiple occasions over the years. The first one dates back to 2016 when Laporte was playing for Athletic de Bilbao. The good news for Barca is that Aymeric Laporte hasn't played regularly with Guardiola, who has preferred other players such as Ruben Diaz and Stones. Furthermore, Pep is a huge fan of Sergi Roberto, and both clubs have reportedly been discussing a potential player exchange. We should remember that the relations between Barca and Manchester City are really good now. They were tense during Bartomeu's presidency, however the arrival of Laporta has changed them. Ferran Soriano, CEO, and Chiqui Begiristain, sports director of the Citizens, are former members of Laporta's team during his first time as Barca president. Moreover, both of them are good friends of Laporta. Hence, the communication between both clubs is very good nowadays, and they are reportedly working on multiple fronts. Another name in Barcelona's list is De Ligt. Mino Raiola, his agent, offered him to Laporta during the conversations about Haaland. The player is not happy in Turin and would like to change teams. Barcelona was already very close to signing him 2 seasons ago, but the Dutch player finally chose Juventus. If he comes to Barcelona, he would reunite with his good friend Frankie de Jong. Spanish media have reported that Barca would like to include Pjanic in the potential transfer to decrease the price of the league. Regarding the midfield, Barcelona was hoping to officially present Wijnaldum this week. However, as we have been discussing in the channel, an astronomical offer from PSG changed the original plan, and the Dutch international player seems to be leaning towards the French offer. The Dutch journal Voetbal and the newspaper The Telegraph reported that the arrival of Wijnaldum to Paris is a done deal, while the French newspaper L'Equipe published that the agreement between the player and PSG is not yet finalized, but it's very close. Under these conditions, Barcelona is looking for a player that can provide legs and strength in the midfield, taking the defensive role that Busquets has done over the years. According to the newspaper Sport, a name that has been put on the table is Gundogan. The German has played 46 games this season and only has 1 year left in his contract. The good relations between Manchester City and Barca would facilitate the potential transfer. So far, Barcelona has only shown interest in the player. No official negotiations have been initiated. Nevertheless, that could change soon once Wijnaldum becomes a new PSG player. Today, we also got an update on Depay. The initial plan was that the Dutch would be officially announced as Barcelona player this week, before the Netherlands play their first match in the Euro Cup this Sunday. Even though Barca already reached a pre-agreement with his agents, the player has not responded to the latest offer from the club, which was expected to be the final one before signing the contract. According to the newspaper Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona is not going to renegotiate the salary that the club and the agent already agreed on. Hence, Barca would only be open to modify the duration of the contract and offer him some additional seasons. Now it's time for the pie to decide. Lastly, and in a different note, Toni Freixa, candidate during the last presidential elections, has been named president of Hércules, a Spanish team based in Alicante, Valencia community in Spain, that currently plays in the third tier of the Spanish football. Hércules is a historical club, and it was created more than 100 years ago. Overall, has played 20 seasons in the top Spanish tier. Last time was on 2010-2011. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. Barcelona has started this transfer market moving fast, acquiring Kun Agüero, Eric Garcia and Emerson just days after the end of the season, and with Memphis Depay expected to sign this week. This speed shouldn't fool us on thinking that Barcelona is going to have its squad ready early on. So far, Barca has focused on signing free agents because it has limited financial resources. Nevertheless, sources from inside the club leaked to the newspaper Sport that Barcelona is aiming to sign a star towards the end of the summer after getting some cash through sales. Everyone within the club, starting from Koeman up to Laporta, know that Barcelona needs a top scorer. The departure of Luis Suarez left a void that Griezmann unfortunately hasn't been able to fill. Barca got Kun Agüero and expects to sign Depay to partially fix that lack of goals. However, Barcelona knows that Agüero is a temporary solution and Depay acts better as a second striker. Hence, Barca still needs a top-class centre-forward. With this in mind, Barcelona is trying to cash out as much money as possible from sales to do a move for either Lautaro Martinez or Haaland. As we have been covering in the channel, the top priority is Haaland, who next to Mbappé is called to be the next generation top star. So far, Borussia Dortmund has rejected any calls regarding the Norwegian striker, and is not open to negotiate. No one expects any change regarding Haaland's future until the end of the Eurocup, when all the contenders will do another attempt to acquire the player. Regarding Lautaro Martinez, Inter de Milan is reportedly asking around 80 million euros. Atletico and Real Madrid have shown interest in the player, but Lautaro seems to prefer Barca. In this context, Barcelona is focused on selling three players, Coutinho, Dembele and Griezmann, to obtain enough cash to attempt the big transfer. Coutinho is one of the top paid players of the squad, hence his sell is essential not only because of the money Barca would get as a transfer fee, but to decrease the salary table. Everton seems to be the club that has shown more interest, and the Premier League team is reportedly willing to pay between 30 and 40 million euros. Dembele's future, on the other hand, will depend on whether he renews his contract, which expires in June 2022. Although Barcelona has scheduled a meeting with his agent this week to negotiate a contract extension, Barca is suspicious that Dembele has a pre-agreement with another club. Some reporters talk about Juventus, to wait until the end of the contract and move to the new team as a free agent. If the conversations between Mateu Alemany and Dembele's agent don't go well this week, Barcelona is going to put him on the market with an asking price between 50 and 60 million. The last name that Barcelona is considering selling to attempt the transfer of Haaland or Lautaro is Griezmann. Barcelona is hoping that Antoine has a great Eurocup performance to increase his market value. So far, only a few clubs have shown interest in the French international, and serious talks are yet to happen. In another set of news, we recently discussed how after the arrival of Laporta, the relations between Barcelona and Manchester City have improved a lot, and both clubs were discussing different deals and agreements. Today, Sky Sport reported that Barca and Manchester City have discussed the potential transfer of Raheem Sterling to the Catalan club. The television channel mentioned that Barcelona cannot reach the asked price and would need to include players into the transfer. The newspaper Mundo Deportivo has reached to Barcelona officials who have not denied their interest in the player, but have stated that Barcelona nowadays is focused on signing other players. Another player that was linked to Barcelona but will not join Barca at the end is Donnarumma. The goalkeeper, who has become a free agent this summer after his contract with AC Milan expired, was offered by his agent Mino Raiola to Laporta. Barcelona initially considered doing a move for the Italian international. However, past experience with Ter Stegen and Claudio Bravo, where both of them were candidates to be the starting goalkeeper and ended up with a lot of internal tensions, finally made Barcelona to decline signing Donnarumma. The goalkeeper will likely join PSG, where he will receive around 12 million euros per year. Outside of the pitch, we have two important news. First, the radio station Cadena Ser has reported that a justice court in Switzerland has declared that UEFA and FIFA cannot punish Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus as a consequence of their involvement in the creation of the European Super League. So, Barca fans, you can be relieved. We should remember that UEFA opening a sanctioning file against the three clubs 2 weeks ago, and the UEFA president was suggesting that the teams could receive a 2-year ban. The second news is regarding Barcelona jersey deal. According to the newspaper Ara, the German corporation Puma, which designs and manufactures athletic footwear, jerseys, and accessories, is interested in signing a long-term kit deal with Barcelona. Currently, Barca jersey is made by Nike. The agreement between the American company and Barcelona dates back to 2016, and back then was the highest deal ever signed between an athletic manufacturer and a team. A potential commercial dispute between Puma and Nike is a great news for Barcelona, who will have more leverage to negotiate a new deal. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. After signing Kun Agüero, Eric Garcia and Emerson, and with the pipe potentially arriving on Friday, Barcelona is changing gears, focusing more on sales. In the coming weeks, several players will be either transferred or let go, all this to raise funds and free salary cap, to make a top signing by the end of the summer, which can bring some hope back to the fans after a disappointing end of the season. As we discussed during our last video, Barca has two main targets, Erling Haaland and Lautaro Martinez. The interest in the Argentinian striker is not new. A year ago, Barcelona was very close on signing Lautaro Martinez. The health crisis, however, blocked the transfer, and the forward stayed in Milan, where he won last season's Serie A. In the middle of the rumors about his potential transfer to Barcelona, Lautaro Martinez's agent, Alejandro Camaño, has declared to the newspaper Sport that "We are very relaxed, we have to resolve the situation with Inter first, but of course he would like to," and he was referring to play for Barcelona. And then he added, "Who wouldn't like to play for Barcelona? They are one of the biggest clubs in the world." The agent further stated, "Lautaro is ready for any challenge. He is a player that doesn't go unnoticed and can handle any sort of responsibility." Sky Sports recently reported that Inter de Milan was open to sell Lautaro this summer, and it was asking for 90 million euros. In this regard, Lautaro's agent told to the newspaper, 90 million is exaggerated. Everything has a price, even though it doesn't seem to me that Inter are talking about selling. We have to see what happens in the market depending on Inter's situation. We should remember that Lautaro has recently rejected an offer from Inter de Milan to extend his current contract, which expires in 2 seasons. His agent confirmed that they received the offer, but they were not interested in signing it. Going through the interview, it is surprising that Lautaro's agent has done these statements, particularly to a Spanish newspaper tightly linked to Barcelona, except if he was putting pressure to Inter de Milan, either to force a transfer or to ask for a higher salary. My personal impression is that he was trying to force a transfer. Last year the player already missed his chance to move to Barcelona. This summer might be his last one, particularly if Barca gets Haaland instead. We'll have to wait and see, but first Barcelona must start selling. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what is your opinion about the potential transfer of Lautaro Martinez to Barcelona, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. I hope you're doing well. Today we have some major transfer market updates, including new development on Memphis Depay move to Barcelona, as well as the first offer Barca is going to do to Inter de Milan for Lautaro Martinez. Let's start. It has been 3 weeks since the end of the season. Barça has already signed 3 new players and it was expecting to officially announce a 4th one. However, Memphis Depay hasn't given the final OK to Barça. The Dutch was asked yesterday about his potential move to Barcelona and kept silent, stating that he was only focused on the Euro Cup. Barça has been negotiating with the player for months now, although a few days ago everything seemed settled and the player was expected to sign for Barcelona. A recent offer from Juventus resulted in Depay's indecision. Barcelona's sports direction remains optimistic, since in a recent discussion, Depay's agents confirmed that they were still prioritizing Barcelona. Barça has a key advantage over Juventus: Ronald Koeman. According to the newspaper Mundo Deportivo, Koeman and Depay keep regular contact to discuss the player's potential role in the coming season. During a recent in-person meeting, Koeman calmed down Depay's doubts by reassuring him that he's going to be a fundamental player in his starting 11. We'll have to wait to see whether Koeman managed to convince Depay. Another compatriot that has opened up about Depay's future is Frankie de Jong, who confirmed that he has also talked with Depay about the club and the city. Nevertheless, Frankie didn't want to get ahead of himself and didn't want to speculate on his teammates' future decision. In another set of news, the agents of Emerson, the Brazilian right-back who recently signed for Barça, were in Milan, where they were meeting with Inter de Milan representatives. The Italians, who 3 weeks ago won the Serie A, are interested in the player to replace Achraf Hakimi, who might be transferred to PSG soon. The newspaper Sport just reported that Emerson wouldn't be sold to Inter de Milan, but instead used to decrease the price of Lautaro Martinez. As we have been discussing in the channel, Barcelona wants to acquire a top striker, and the two names on top of the target list are Haaland and Lautaro. Although Erling Haaland is the preferred one by everyone within the club, Borussia Dortmund has been refusing partaking in any negotiation talks. Hence, Barça has started shifting its interest toward Lautaro, since Inter de Milan is open to discuss his transfer. According to the Spanish newspaper, Barcelona's first offer would include 55 million euros in cash plus Junior. Since Junior is valued around 25 million euros, the total would be 80 million euros, the price that Inter de Milan is asking for the player, according to Sky Sport. Another position Barcelona wants to cover in the current transfer market is the defensive midfielder, since Busquets is 32 and Pjanic has been barely used by Koeman, and he's likely going to be sold this summer too. In this context, Barça is interested in Lorenzo Pellegrini from Roma. Barcelona has two key advantages that might facilitate the transfer. First, the player's contract expires next season. Hence, if Roma wants to get something in return, would need to sell him this summer. Second, Pellegrini has a breaking clause fee of 30 million euros. There is one catch though. Italian newspapers report that Atalanta has a purchase option for 20 million euros, although they would have to reach an agreement with the player first. According to the radio station RAC 1, Barcelona initially proposed including Clement Lenglet in the transfer to decrease Pellegrini's price. Nevertheless, the French centre-back turned it down, stating that he was not moving anywhere. Thus, Barcelona will have to pay a higher transfer fee or find another player that is willing to be included in the transfer. In case Barcelona couldn't get Pellegrini, the club has shortlisted a group of alternative candidates. According to the TV channel TV3, after Pellegrini, the other names in the list are Ryan Gravenberch from Ajax, Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad, and Fabian Ruiz from Naples. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. Barcelona doesn't want another case like Georginos Wijnaldum, where after weeks negotiating with the player, and after reaching a total agreement with his agents, a last-minute offer from another team ended up with the player moving somewhere else. Without going crazy, because Barça finance doesn't allow that, Barcelona has finally modified its latest offer to Memphis Depay, who a few days ago had received a better one from Juventus. Italian media reported that Juventus overbid Barça's offer by 3 million euros. Well, according to the radio station RAC 1, Barcelona has finally increased the variable salary, which depends on the player's performance. Hence, if Depay ends up not performing as expected, Barcelona will pay the same salary initially agreed. But if the player beats expectations, then he would receive a much higher pay. After the latest contacts between Barcelona and Depay's agents, Laporte and his team are extremely confident they will finally sign the player this week. However, the official presentation will have to wait until the end of the Eurocup. Aligned with this optimistic news, Barcelona started selling Depay's jersey in the official store. This is quite a bold move since the player, at least officially, hasn't signed the contract yet. Perhaps it was a mistake, or perhaps the Depay move to Barcelona is a done deal, just lacking official confirmation. We will have to wait and see. A player that might be joining Juventus at the end might be Griezmann. Italian media is reporting that Cristiano Ronaldo is likely leaving Turin this summer, and the Italians are looking for a top striker to replace him. According to Calciomercato, Griezmann has been offered to Juventus, who would be interested in the French international if Cristiano finally leaves. We should remember that Juventus is also interested in the return of Pjanic, and multiple newspapers have reported discussions between the Italians and Barca regarding potential player exchanges. Barcelona seems to be particularly keen on De Ligt and Betancourt. A few days ago, I discussed in a video some of the potential player swap deals between both clubs. I will add the link into the description. Nevertheless, don't expect major moves until the end of the Eurocup. Lastly, there is another Premier League club that has shown interest in Coutinho. Several newspapers have published that Leicester wants the player for the coming season, where he would reunite with Brendan Rodgers, former Liverpool manager. It is unclear how much the Premier League team is willing to offer for a player who is currently recovering from a knee injury and has had three disappointing seasons. Some reports mention €20 million as a transfer fee, while others suggest that Leicester would like the player on a loan. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what is your opinion about the potential arrival of Depay to Barcelona, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid keep negotiating what might be the biggest transfer deal this summer in Spain. It's not an easy deal, obviously, but both parts see it as a win-win situation, and according to Mundo Deportivo, the negotiations are progressing very well, and it's a matter of time. On one hand, Atletico wants Griezmann back since they believe a duo made by Suarez and Griezmann would be unstoppable. Furthermore, they know that Saúl leaving Atletico is a matter of time, and they would like to keep improving the team during the process rather than just getting cash for the player. We should remember that Atletico won the league this past season after 7 years, and the club wants to keep building a competitive team capable of competing and winning national and international trophies. On the other hand, although Barcelona values a lot Griezmann's hard work and offensive output, its weak finance forced Barca to choose between keeping Griezmann or Messi. Barcelona is currently over its salary cap and needs to reduce wages to extend Messi's contract. According to the TV station Cuatro, Barcelona needs 3 of its top paid players to reduce their salary by 40% in order to re-sign Messi. Initial plans were to sell Dembele so the club would get a good amount of cash and would save his high wage. After the winger got seriously injured during the Euro, that option went out of the window. Hence, the second best option for Barca is to transfer Griezmann, or in this case, swap him for a player who has a much smaller salary. Regarding the player's opinion, Griezmann is open to return to Atletico because after the arrival of Depay and Agüero, the French international is likely going to start next season from the bench. Although in recent days he was linked to Manchester City and Juventus, he would rather stay in Spain than move to Serie A or Premier League. Saúl also prioritizes moving to Barcelona than going to Liverpool since he wants to stay in Spain and feels Barcelona playing style fits him better. Regarding the swap deal, Barcelona is asking Saúl plus money or another player for Griezmann since they believe the striker market value is higher than the Spaniard one. Lastly, today we also got good news regarding Messi's future. According to the French newspaper Le Parisien, PSG has finally quit on its attempt to sign Messi. PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi was obsessed on reuniting Neymar and Messi in Paris. However, after keeping a few meetings with Messi's father, an agent, Jorge Messi told to Al Khelafi that the player wanted to stay in Barcelona. Moreover, PSG has already signed several players this summer, plus it has extended Neymar's contract. Hence, PSG has to be very conservative if it wants to stay within UEFA's economic fair play rules. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments section what do you think about the potential player swap deal. Stay safe and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. Last week, a group of former football players, celebrities and golf enthusiasts met in Mallorca, Spain during the celebration of the Legends Trophy, a golf tournament co-organized by Pep Guardiola. Laporta was invited to the tournament and was caught on camera hugging and talking with Pep. We should remember that both of them are very close friends. Well, according to Gerard Romero from Rack 1, a journalist with very good information that usually breaks down and breaks news regarding Barca, Laporta and Pep not only talk about personal stuff, but discussed potential transfers and player exchanges. According to the journalist, Pep offered to Laporta and Mateu Alemany, Barca sports director who was also in the tournament, up to 7 players from Manchester City. One of the players that was discussed was Aymeric Laporte. After the arrival of Rubén Diaz to Manchester, the Spaniard has become a replacement player. Barcelona is currently looking for a left-footed centre-back to complement Piqué, Araujo and Eric Garcia. Koeman likes to play with one right-footed and one left-footed centre-back to ease the creation of the game. For that reason, Lenglet has been untouchable with Koeman, even though other players seem to be in better condition. Two Barcelona players Guardiola is very fond of are Sergi Roberto and Dembele. Both of them have only 1 year left in their contracts, and if they don't renew it this summer, Barcelona would be forced to sell them. Other players that were discussed during the tournament were Bernardo Silva and Joao Cancelo. This news seemed to be consistent with information published by Sunday Times, where it was also reported a potential player swap deal involving Sergi Roberto and Dembele for Bernardo Silva and Joao Cancelo. Barcelona already tried to acquire Joao Cancelo 2 years ago when the Portuguese was playing for Juventus. It's worth noting that Barcelona just bought Emerson and already has Dest for that position. Therefore, it seems unlikely that Barca is going to do a move for Cancelo except if Emerson or Dest are going to be sold. In this regard, we have recently discussed in the channel an information where Barcelona was preparing an offer for Lautaro Martinez that would include 55 million in cash plus Emerson, which might explain why Barca would be negotiating for another right back. I will add the link of the video where I discuss Lautaro Martinez offer down below in the description. So in summary, it's clear that many things have changed after the arrival of Laporta. One of them is the way Barca interact with other clubs. While during Bartomeu's presidency Barcelona had a very rough relation with Manchester City, things are very smooth now. Laporta is close friends with Manchester City's coach, Pep Guardiola, and has a great relation with the sports director, Chiqui Begiristain, and the CEO, Ferran Soriano. All of them were part of Laporta's team during their first time as Barca president. Hence, it wouldn't be surprising if both clubs find new ways of collaboration. So, these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. As we have been covering in the channel, Barcelona and Atlético de Madrid are negotiating a player swap deal that would include Griezmann and Saúl. The negotiations are progressing well, and some newspapers in Spain, such as Marca or AS, were reporting yesterday that the deal could be signed very soon. One of the missing points to reach the final agreement is how to compensate Barca for the different transfer market value of the players. Barca has been asking for around 15 million euros in addition to Saúl for Griezmann. According to the radio station Catalunya Radio, in the latest hours, Atlético de Madrid has made a counter-offer where the colchoneros would include another player instead of cash to make for the difference between Griezmann and Saúl valuation. According to the radio station, Atlético de Madrid and Barcelona have been discussing two names, Hermoso and Lodi. Hermoso is a left-footed centre-back that can play also as a left-back. Koeman likes to play with one right-footed and one left-footed centre-back. Currently, Barcelona only has Lenglet as left-footed centre-back, assuming that Umtiti is finally going to be sold or let go. Hence, Barca would like to get another player for that position. A few weeks ago, Barcelona and Manchester City discussed a potential player swap deal, including Aymeric Laporte and Sergi Roberto, but those talks seem to be stuck right now. Regarding Lodi, he's a 23-year-old left-back that Barcelona already tried to acquire a few seasons ago. He's fast and has good stamina and offensive mentality. The issue with Lodi is that Simeone doesn't want to let him go. So in summary, the negotiations for the player swap deal are progressing well, and the final agreement is near. Barcelona and Atletico only need to figure out how to make for the difference between the player's valuation. In another set of news, Barcelona is getting increasingly frustrated with Coutinho and Umtiti. In the last couple weeks, there were hopes that one or both players could be transferred or given on a loan to Olympique de Marseille. The president of the French club, Pablo Longoria, is a good friend of Mateu Alemany, and they have been discussing a potential transfer/loan. The main issue is the players' salaries, which are well beyond Olympique's budget. We should remember that the French newspaper L'Equipe published some time ago that Olympique was negotiating a potential new sponsorship deal that would partially finance Coutinho's transfer and salary. At the end, however, no progress was done, and the team has already acquired another player for that same position. Hence, Coutinho's and Umtiti's future still needs to be resolved. So this was all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what do you think about these two potential players that could be included in the transfer between Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. Stay safe and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. After signing Kun Agüero, Eric Garcia and Emerson Royal, and with the arrival of Memphis Depay pending on very minor points, by the way, stick until the end of the video to hear about the latest on Depay signing, Barcelona Sports Direction is working on both improving the current squad as well as selling current members of the team to decrease the salary table. One of those positions Barcelona wants to improve is the left centre-back. Currently, Barca only has two left-footed centre-backs, Lenglet and Umtiti. After an initial promising season, Lenglet has had very poor second year. Furthermore, when Piqué got injured and Lenglet was supposed to step forward and become the leader of the defense, he failed to do that. Fortunately for Barca, that role was finally filled by Araujo. Hence, Barca wants to sell Lenglet if a good offer comes. He's not going to be bought, since Koeman and his team still believe that he can be a good player, but he's not expected to have a major role in the coming season. In the case of Umtiti, he's going to be sold or waived. In this context, Barcelona wants to acquire a left-footed centre-back, and the name that they are focusing on is Aymeric Laporte. The Spaniard also wants to join Barca this summer and is reportedly pressuring his current club to facilitate the transfer. The issue with Laporte is that even though his role has diminished after the arrival of Ruben Dias to Manchester City, his market value is still very high. He's in his prime, 27 years old, left-footed and physically strong. Hence the price Manchester City is asking for is out of Barca's reach. Laporte is fully aware that to move to Barcelona, a player exchange needs to happen, and he will have to keep pressuring Chiqui Begiristain, Manchester City sports director. Regarding Depay, according to the newspaper Mundo Deportivo, Depay's arrival is almost a done deal, and Koeman has already told to his inner circle that the player is joining Barcelona. Yesterday, Barca and Depay agents were exchanging contracts to confirm that everything was on point before signing them, and Barca is expecting to announce him as a new Barca player this week. So these were all the news for today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe, and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid have been negotiating for over a week now in one of the biggest transfer moves of this summer market. All stars seemed to align when Barcelona found itself trying to decrease its salary table as well as to acquire a box-to-box midfielder, while Atletico wanted to further improve its attack and at the same time to find a destination for Saúl. Although the negotiations were progressing well, by the end of the week Atletico did a new request. Barcelona should cover part of Griezmann's high salary. For obvious reasons, Barca turned it down, and since then the conversations between both clubs stopped. Atletico knows that Barca is time pressured, while Barcelona knows that the Colchoneros would love to get Griezmann back. After winning last season's league, getting Antoine would further solidify Atletico's aim to become a top European team. Yesterday, Atletico's president, Enrique Cerezo, was interviewed by the Spanish TV station Cuatro, where he declared, "Soon you will know. In football anything is possible." Another tension point is Saúl's salary. In early talks with the player agent, Barcelona discussed a potential salary that didn't meet Saúl's initial expectations. Hence, Barcelona is having a hard time with both Atletico and Saúl's agent. As a consequence, the player's agent started negotiating with Premier League teams, primarily Liverpool, although Mundo Deportivo reports other teams are also interested in the midfielder. Regarding Griezmann, he will join Barcelona today after his summer vacations are over. After Dembele got injured, Barcelona saw Griezmann as the main option to decrease its salary table. However, if the French striker finally stays, the club will be above the salary cap established by the Spanish League and will not be able to register new players. One player that might help Barcelona in this front is Martin Braithwaite. The Danish striker has received several offers from Premier League teams, and it seems that he has finally chosen Wolverhampton, where he will reunite with other former Barca players such as Trincao and Semedo. Barcelona expects to receive around 15 million euros as transfer fee. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section your opinion about all this situation. Stay safe and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. We are in the middle of a transfer market that is meant to be an inflection point for Barcelona. After years of progressive decline under Bartomeu's direction, the new president, Joan Laporta, is working on a deep renovation of the club, including the football squad. Due to Barca's limited finances, Laporta and his team are looking for alternative ways to acquire players. Hence, Kun Agüero and Eric Garcia have arrived as free agents, Memphis Depay is going to sign for Barcelona soon too, and the 50% of the federative rights of Emerson were purchased recently for a very moderate price. This is completely different strategy to the one followed by Bartomeu, who was not shy to pay transfer fees above 100 million euros. In the middle of the current rebuilding phase, Barcelona has found an unexpected ally, Manchester City. Laporta has very close relation with three of the most important members of the Citizens: Guardiola, Chiqui Begiristain and Ferran Soriano. All of them were part of Laporta's team during his first time as Barca president. And in the case of Guardiola, Laporta and Pep are very close friends. Hence, it's not strange the news that reports that during a golf tournament organized by Pep, Guardiola and Laporta met and talked about potential player exchanges that would benefit both teams. For more information regarding the meeting, I will add the link of the video where I discuss it down below in the description. Well, the Spanish TV channel, TV3, has informed on Barca's top priorities. According to the journalist Oriol Domènech, Barcelona is interested in 4 citizen players and in the following order: Laporte, Cancelo, Bernardo Silva and Márez. That doesn't mean that Manchester City wants to get rid of the players, but Guardiola and Chiqui Begiristain would be open to negotiate some player swap deals, particularly if they included Dembele or Sergi Roberto. From Barcelona's side, Laporte and Cancelo are the 2 players they are actively trying to trade for, while Bernardo Silva and Márez would only be an interesting option if Dembele was sold. In another set of news, I've been getting a lot of messages regarding Depay and why he hasn't signed for Barca yet. The deal between the player and the club is almost done, and there are only minor points that need to be agreed on. Yesterday, Depay himself discussed his arrival to Barcelona during a press conference with the Netherlands national team. He told to the reporters, "Everyone knows that I've been linked to Barcelona and I want to play for Ronald Koeman. Just wait. There are ongoing conversations and I believe we will have news soon." In this regard, the newspaper Mundo Deportivo has published that one of the last issues that was pending on the PAIS deal was the duration of the contract. Although Barcelona wanted a 3-year deal, the player requested a 2-year contract to have the freedom to leave in case Koeman was sacked. According to the newspaper, Barcelona has finally agreed on those terms, and the official announcement is expected soon. Lastly, Lautaro Martinez's agent was interviewed in the radio station Radio Colonia, where he confirmed that the player's future is still unresolved and they are working on. This is the second time that the agent talks about Lautaro's future and a potential move to Barcelona in a week. It's surprising to see an agent of a player who is under contract speak so openly about their will to change teams. Usually agents are more sneaky. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. Today we are going to recap on Barcelona victory against Elche 0-2, providing you as usual the good, the bad and the ugly of yesterday's match, and we will also go through the news such as Sergi Roberto's return, so let's start. Barcelona won the 4th straight game in the league with goals of De Jong and Riqui Puig. It's the best strike since the season started. Although Barcelona was not brilliant by any means, and at some parts of the match Barca's playing style was a little bit slow, the team has achieved some regularity and consistency. Besides a defense mistake that caused a clear goal occasion for Elche, Barcelona didn't suffer and it was in control of the whole game. In the press conference after the match, Koeman was quite satisfied with his team performance, highlighting Barcelona's defensive pressure. This used to be a staple on Barcelona playing style since Guardiola, but in the last years of Valverde and the half season particularly of Setien, Barcelona lost it. So without further ado, let's check the good, the bad and the ugly of yesterday's match. The good, De Jong mobility. When De Jong was playing for Ajax, one of his strengths was his ability to break lines and bring the ball near the opponent's area. During his first season in Barca, he looked like he was pulling back a lot, playing very restrained and limiting his influence on. This season, particularly the last few games, he's starting to look a lot like the player we saw in the Netherlands, covering a lot of space and having a strong influence on Barcelona attack both with goals and assists. The second good was Ter Stegen. Yesterday was a clear example of what a Barcelona goalkeeper are for. Yesterday's game was reasonably controlled by Barca, limiting Elche opportunities. However, a misunderstanding on defense allowed Rigoni, the opponent striker, to face the goalkeeper on a one-on-one, and Ter Stegen solved Elche's goals opportunity masterfully with his foot. Third good, Trincao. There may be hope after all. So Trincao's first season with Barcelona has been a disaster. So far we have seen a slow player who holds the ball too much, who doesn't read the game well and who is unable to challenge defenders on one-on-ones. Yesterday, however, he was better synced with the rest of his teammates, creating goal opportunities and showing some of his characteristic plays that he used to do with Braga. It's definitely not a performance to write in history books, but hopefully helps him to recover some confidence so he can start contributing to Barcelona game. Another unexpected good, Umtiti. When Barcelona fans saw yesterday that Umtiti was playing, many started to panic, and rightfully so. However, yesterday he played a solid game. Umtiti suffers when he has a lot of space on his back and he's challenged by fast strikers. However, his ability to initiate Barca games still there. Koeman read the game perfectly. He expected an opponent that would be sitting back, defending with most of his players with very limited to non-offense. In those situations when there is very limited space, a defender that can read the game and break lines with precise passes is very important, and Umtiti played that role very well. We shouldn't start opening champagne since Umtiti is still very limited. However, in very specific matches like yesterday, he can contribute and provide some rest for the starting centre back. The bad. Dembele's skills and use. Particularly in the first half, Dembele was playing in the middle field, building Barcelona's attack rather than playing on the wings where his skills are better suited for. Dembele's strengths are on the side, next to the line, using his speed and challenging opposing defenders. And Barcelona didn't use him in that role yesterday. Dembele tends to be inconsistent, losing a lot of balls, thus you don't want him playing in the middle field where if he loses a ball, that can be a clear goal occasion for the opponent. The second bad is looking for Griezmann. So Griezmann's last games have been quite consistently in the sense that he doesn't participate much on the game, and his performance comes down to whether he scores or not. The days that he scores, like against Athletic de Bilbao, he's an asset to the team. Other days, like yesterday, when he didn't score, he didn't provide much to the team. This is one of the challenges that no coach has been able to solve so far, finding ways to involve Griezmann on Barcelona attack consistently. The ugly. Although the defenders were solid yesterday, we got again a misunderstanding which almost cost us a goal. It has been the new norm that Barcelona will lose concentration and give a clear goal opportunity to the opponent in every single match. In some occasions it cost us points, in others like yesterday Ter Stegen saved us. It feels it's a matter of keeping focused and concentrated the 90 minutes, which so far they have been unable to do. Yesterday's victory left a lot of interesting statistics. For example, yesterday's was the 5th consecutive victory as a visiting team. This didn't happen since September 2017, during the first season of Ernesto Valverde. At the end of that season, Barcelona would win the league. Yesterday's was also the 4th consecutive victory in general, considering both home and away games. It didn't happen since last February. Since 1978, Elche hasn't scored a goal against Barcelona. And lastly, at this point last season, Barcelona was leader with 40 points on the table. Nowadays, Barcelona has 37, so it's not so far. Lastly, Sergi Roberto is close to play again. The Spaniard got injured 2 months ago in a match against Atletico de Madrid. He also suffered from COVID, which delayed his recovery for several weeks. Sergi trained last Saturday, but doctors thought it was premature for him to play some minutes against Elche. Nevertheless, he's expected to be ready for next Sunday against Athletic, likely starting from the bench. Koeman is considering using him either as a midfielder to provide some rest for Busquets, considering that Pjanic hasn't adapted to Barcelona playing style, or as a right back, since Dest has been suffering from physical problems during the last month. So this was all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. If you have any comment, write it down below, and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. We are going to discuss today's news, including Kun Agüero and Alaba being offered to the presidential candidates, Koeman wish list for the next season, and new training changes to address the missed penalties. So let's start. So Barcelona is under very unusual presidential election. In the past elections, candidates would often participate on televised debates, where they would discuss about their projects, potential managers and players. For instance, Laporta won the 2003 election after reaching an agreement with Manchester United for the pass of David Beckham. Current crisis, however, has changed the situation. The financial health of the big football clubs is severely compromised, and even clubs with state support such as PSG are openly discussing their struggle on keeping their stars and often the giant salaries on the roster. Under the current events, Barcelona and the 3 presidential candidates are exploring the transfer market to acquire good players whose contract is ending this summer, such as Eric Garcia. 2 players who have been offered to multiple candidates are Kun Agüero and Alaba. Kun Agüero, who will turn 33 next June, hasn't participated much this season due to injuries and testing positive for COVID recently. Barcelona managers still want to get a top striker such as Haaland or Lautaro Martinez, but under current circumstances it seems unlikely that they will be able to afford a large transfer fee next season. Hence, the candidates see Kun Agüero as a short-term opportunity to get a world-class striker for free, while they wait to get a younger striker in the future. It's worth noting that Kun is very close friend to Leo, who is waiting to talk with the new president to decide whether he will stay or he will leave Barcelona next season, so that could be another incentive to get Kun Agüero. The other player offered to the candidates is David Alaba. The 28-year-old player from Bayern Munich is very versatile, being able to play as a centre-back, left-back or defensive midfielder. Barca's interest in Alaba is not new, since this would be the 3rd attempt on acquiring the player after the summers of 2012 and 2018. As we discussed recently, Alaba has been linked to Real Madrid by some Spanish media. However, Joan Laporta, who has very close relation with his manager, Pini Zahavi, confirmed that the player hadn't signed any contract yet and he's open to offers. In the same way, candidates are screening the market to find cheap players that could improve current Barcelona squad. Ronald Koeman has made his own player wish list for the next season. In addition to Eric Garcia, whose arrival to Barcelona is a done deal, waiting to be announced once the new president takes office, Koeman's list includes two other players, whose contract also ends this summer. The first is Georginio Wijnaldum, middle fielder playing for Liverpool, and the second is Depay, who currently plays for Olympique de Lyon and is second top scorer of the League One behind Mbappé. Depay already reached an agreement with Barcelona last October, but the transfer didn't materialize. He's still committed to wear the Blaugrana jersey next season, but other teams such as PSG and Juventus are also chasing him. Koeman knows Depay and Wijnaldum very well, since he trained them both during his stint as a manager of the Netherlands national team. The last name linked to Barcelona is Juan Bernat. The Spaniard left-back has wide experience playing for elite teams such as Valencia, Bayern Munich and PSG. His contract with the French team is also finishing this summer, and Barcelona managers are keeping a close eye. Barca has been looking for years for a player that can challenge Jordi Alba for the starting position, providing some healthy competition within the team. The last player bought for that position was Junior Firpo. Unfortunately, he didn't perform as expected, and he's likely going to be sold during the next transfer market. In another set of news, Barcelona has already missed 5 out of 12 penalties this season. In the last press conference, Koeman confirmed that he found that statistic completely unacceptable for a team as Barcelona, and they were focusing a portion of the training to improve those numbers. It's worth noting that back in the day, Koeman himself was an excellent penalty shooter, and he used to be the player trusted by Johan Cruyff to attempt the penalty shots. So this was all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. If you have any comment, write it down below, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. The arrival of Georginio Wijnaldum to Barcelona is accelerating, and he might become soon the fourth incoming player for Barca, after Eric Garcia, Kun Agüero and Memphis Depay. All of them will arrive as a free agent, allowing Barcelona to improve the current squad without paying a large transfer fee. This is such an opposing strategy compared to Bartomeu's, where transfer fees over 100 million euros were paid in multiple occasions for players that in many cases were not worth that money. Yesterday we discussed how Wijnaldum agents were in Barcelona a week ago to meet with Barcelona representative and talk about the future of the Dutch player whose contract with Liverpool ends this June. Well, today his agent, Humphrey Nishman, and his legal assessor, Jan Cavalt, were caught on camera by the press in Barca's office. According to the journalist Fabrizio Roman, Barcelona and Wijnaldum are negotiating a 3-year contract, and they would be very close on reaching a final agreement. This information has been further corroborated by the Dutch newspaper The Telegraph, not to be confused with the British newspaper, which also mentioned that the final agreement was expected to happen very soon. Although Wijnaldum has received offers from other continental giants such as Bayern Munich, the player is still very interested in joining Barca, and he has accepted decreasing his current salary in order to facilitate his arrival. In another set of news, it has been confirmed what we discussed in the channel a few weeks ago. UEFA has opened a sanctioning file to Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus regarding their role in the creation of the European Super League. In a press release, UEFA announced that more information will be revealed soon, and future sanctions are likely coming. These news are consistent with the latest public appearances of UEFA President Seferin, where he threatened with severe sanctions, including a 2-year ban, the clubs that remain attached to the European Super League project. We will have to wait and see how this evolves. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the videos, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion about Wijnaldum in the comment section down below, and see you next time. Hello everyone, and welcome to FCBites. Now that the season is over, Barca is working non-stop on improving the main squad, which has been progressively losing quality during the last 4 years. Barcelona has already reached an agreement with Eric Garcia and Kun Agüero, who could be officially announced as new Barcelona players next Sunday, after the Champions League final, where their team, Manchester City, will compete against Chelsea. Furthermore, Barca has either signed or is close to sign Memphis Depay. Information varies depending on the sources. Well, the newspaper Sport reported today that Barcelona representatives have recently met with another player whose contract expires this June, Wijnaldum. The agents of the international player were in Barcelona last week, where they discussed with Mateu Alemany and his team the potential move of the Dutch player to Barcelona. Wijnaldum has an offer from Bayern Munich, and two teams from the Premier League have also reached out to his agents. Barcelona's interest for the player dates back to the last season, when Bartomeu himself negotiated a potential transfer with Liverpool, which at the end didn't happen because of Barcelona's limited financial health. Since the arrival of Laporta though, Barca's pursuit for the player has cooled down, since the club would prefer a younger player. However, current transfer market doesn't offer many economical options in that position, the centre midfield, and Barcelona might finally choose a safer option such as Wijnaldum. In any way, Barcelona will have to make its mind soon, since the player wants to define his future before the Euro Cup, which will start as early as June. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think about Wijnaldum and his potential arrival to Barcelona. Stay safe and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. Last week, a group of former football players, celebrities and golf enthusiasts met in Mallorca, Spain, during the celebration of the Legends Trophy, a golf tournament co-organized by Pep Guardiola. Laporta was invited to the tournament and was caught on camera hugging and talking with Pep. We should remember that both of them are very close friends. Well, according to Gerard Romero from Rack 1, a journalist with very good information that usually breaks down and breaks news regarding Barca, Laporta and Pep not only talk about personal stuff, but discussed potential transfers and player exchanges. According to the journalist, Pep offered to Laporta and Mateu Alemany, Barca sports director who was also in the tournament, up to 7 players from Manchester City. One of the players that was discussed was Aymeric Laporte. After the arrival of Rubén Diaz to Manchester, the Spaniard has become a replacement player. Barcelona is currently looking for a left-footed centre-back to complement Piqué, Araujo and Eric Garcia. Koeman likes to play with one right-footed and one left-footed centre-back to ease the creation of the game. For that reason, Lenglet has been untouchable with Koeman, even though other players seem to be in better condition. Two Barcelona players Guardiola is very fond of are Sergi Roberto and Dembele. Both of them have only 1 year left in their contracts, and if they don't renew it this summer, Barcelona would be forced to sell them. Other players that were discussed during the tournament were Bernardo Silva and Joao Cancelo. This news seemed to be consistent with information published by Sunday Times, where it was also reported a potential player swap deal involving Sergi Roberto and Dembele for Bernardo Silva and Joao Cancelo. Barcelona already tried to acquire Joao Cancelo 2 years ago when the Portuguese was playing for Juventus. It's worth noting that Barcelona just bought Emerson and already has Dest for that position. Therefore, it seems unlikely that Barca is going to do a move for Cancelo except if Emerson or Dest are going to be sold. In this regard, we have recently discussed in the channel an information where Barcelona was preparing an offer for Lautaro Martinez that would include 55 million in cash plus Emerson, which might explain why Barca would be negotiating for another right back. I will add the link of the video where I discuss Lautaro Martinez offer down below in the description. So in summary, it's clear that many things have changed after the arrival of Laporta. One of them is the way Barca interact with other clubs. While during Bartomeu's presidency Barcelona had a very rough relation with Manchester City, things are very smooth now. Laporta is close friends with Manchester City's coach, Pep Guardiola, and has a great relation with the sports director, Quique Begiristain, and the CEO, Ferran Soriano. All of them were part of Laporta's team during their first time as Barca president. Hence, it wouldn't be surprising if both clubs find new ways of collaboration. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, and see you next time. Hello everyone and welcome to FCBites. Joan Laporta, president of Barcelona, attended to the premiere of a documentary about Messi today, and when asked about Barcelona transfer targets, he replied, "We will not do conventional signings anymore, but good player swap deals." This sentence is consistent with his latest interview over the weekend, where he declared that Barca was going to sign 3 or 4 more players, but through unconventional ways. He implied that Barcelona limited finance did not allow paying large transfer fees, and they were exploring imaginative solutions. We already covered in the channel the discussions between Laporte and Guardiola about exchanging Sergi Roberto and Dembele for Laporte, Cancelo and Bernardo Silva. I will add the link of that video to the description down below. Yesterday I briefly discussed a rumor that was going around about the potential return of Adama Traoré to Barcelona. Well, the story is picking up momentum and it seems that more media is giving it credibility. The first person to fuel those rumors was Adama Traoré himself. In 2 recent interviews, one to the newspaper Sport and the other to the radio station RAC 1, he declared his will to return to Barcelona, which he considers his home. Traoré joined Barcelona youth teams in 2004 and even played with the main squad on November 23, 2013, in a La Liga game against Granada. In total he played 4 games before leaving Barcelona and moving to UK in 2015. Back then he was already known for his speed and dribbling abilities, but now he combines those skills with a unique physique that allows him to impose himself over defenders. So going back to Laporta's statements, Barcelona is only considering player swap deals, and in this context the newspaper Sport is reporting that the next one could be Adama Traoré in exchange for Trincao. Unfortunately, Trincao has had a very poor first season with Barcelona. He's a player of talent, no one questions that, but he tends to hold the ball too long, and Barca playing style requires players with first touch skills. The good news for Barcelona is that Trincao's agent is Jorge Mendes, who has a unique relation with Wolverhampton, Adama's team. Rubén Neves, Pedro Neto, Nelson Semedo, Daniel Ponce, Rui Patricio, Vitinha and João Moutinho, all of them are represented by Jorge Mendes and play for Wolverhampton. If we remember, Nelson Semedo is a former Barca player, and 2 years ago Barcelona needed cash, so Bartomeu asked Mendes as a favour to find him a club, and the Portuguese agent organized the transfer in no time. We will see if Barcelona asks again Mendes to facilitate a new transfer move between both clubs. In another set of news, the journalist Miguel Rico reported today that Leo Messi had finally accepted the latest contract extension offer from Laporta. A lot of reaction has followed the news, with most media, including serious newspapers such as Mundo Deportivo, publishing that the agreement was near, but it was not a done deal. Leo is currently playing for the Argentinian national team in the American Cup, and he has no expectation to announce anything soon. People close to Messi confirmed that they speak with Barca representatives regularly, and there is optimism in both sides, but there is still a lot of things that they need to figure out before the Argentinian star signs his new contract. So these were the news of today. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what do you think about Barcelona's new transfer market strategy, where players swap deals take priority over other options. By the way, is there any player exchange you would like to see next? Let me know down below. Take care and stay safe.